Hello, hello. Welcome to a Thursday night Facebook card class with CJ Card Creations. My name is Christy Hillock. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in Salt Lake City, Utah. Whether you are catching me live or if you are catching me on the replay, make sure that you drop a comment down below so that I can say hi to you and just let you know how much I appreciate you. I am very grateful for all of my viewers and hey Janie, I'm glad you're here. I am really excited to be here with you tonight. I have a really fun project that is going to be really handy for you. So we will get there in a minute. Janie, thank you for sharing. I always appreciate the shares. It helps more people see me and helps me continue to provide all of these fun videos. So I have just a few things that I want to talk to you about. First, it's celebration. So that means that for every $50 order you place, you get a free product of your choice from a select catalog. So if you have any questions about ordering, I would be delighted to help you. I would really appreciate your business. Let's see here. I always send out my emails on Mondays. And so if you would like to receive dimensions for the project that I'm going to make, grab the link that's in the description of this video and go over and sign up for my email so that you get this one. I think this one's one you're not going to want to miss. So I also have put in a host code that you can use when you're shopping with me. If you place a $35 order in my online store and use that host code, you have to use the host code so that I know that you want the kits. But if you place that order, then I will send you kits for each of the 3 projects in the January Facebook class. So I will show you all of those here in just a minute as well. And then Paper Pumpkin is super exciting this next round. It is Sunshine and Smiles. Hey Mom, thanks for being here. And it coordinates with the Playing in the Rain suite, which we are going to use a little bit of tonight. And it is also what I'm going to use in February for my class to go. And they also have an add-on that includes 2 little dies for $6 that will cut out a cute little frog and flowers that are in the Paper Pumpkin kit. So it makes 9 cards. There's a link to subscribe. And if you want to get free items with that subscription, let me help you do that, because you can buy a prepaid code in my online store and then go over and redeem that code on the Paper Pumpkin site. And that way you're paid for 3, 6, or 12 months. And you get free stuff. So that's the way to do it. My next class is February 13th. That is Galentine's, and the class will be at my house. It will not actually be making Valentine's projects, but it's Galentine's, so we'll have to celebrate in some fashion. And let's see, I think that is it. So welcome, welcome. If you are just joining, I'm so glad you're here. I am Christy with CJ Card Creations, and I am going to go ahead and switch the camera view so that you can see the projects from this month. So let's go over here and do that. So as you can see, that cute little owl card was the first project that we did this month. And then this farm card was last week. And this week we are doing this amazing postage stamp holder. So hey Tiffany, thanks for being here. So this is something that I've been wanting to do for a while, because these flat sheets of stamps just fall all over my desk and it's a disaster, and then I can't find what I need. So the reason that I did it this way, and I think most of you who make and send cards will appreciate it, the back section holds these non-machinable stamps. And these are what we need when we are doing some of our projects that have more dimension or big bows or bumpy things, like the gems and that kind of thing. So it will hold that, and then this front pocket will hold just your regular forever stamps. Now, the other reason that this project is so exciting to me today is that the Postal Service is raising rates on forever stamps as of Sunday, this coming Sunday. So I stocked up last week. I put in an order on ups.com and I just had it delivered to my house. I didn't even have to mess with the post office, and they delivered it. There's no shipping. It's the best way to get your stamps. So make sure that you hop over after this video and get some forever stamps ordered so that you're all set for a while. I am just bringing in my Stampin' Trimmer here. I'm glad you like the organizer. I really hope that you will make one of your own design, or, you know, decorations, and post a picture in my CJ Cards Stampers group. I really always love seeing what you guys are making. So this is just an 8.5 and 11-inch sheet of cardstock, so a full sheet. So I am going to score the short side at 1 inch. And as you're doing this, make sure that you always use your score blade, not your cutting blade, because that is a bummer. So I'm actually scoring at 1 inch from both sides. So we can do like that. And then we are going to rotate this to the long side and score at 6 inches and at 7 inches. So now we've got that one done. We'll set it aside for a minute and bring in another piece of cardstock. And this one is cut to 6 inches by 6.5 inches. And this will make the smaller box. So on the short side, I am going to score again at 1 inch and 1 inch on the other side. Now you could totally change the dimensions of these boxes if you didn't want them to be so deep. You would just change the measurement that I just did. So then on the long side, I am going to score at, hold on, I gotta look, 3 inches and at 4 inches. So that is all the scoring that we need to do. And now I'm just going to dig out my bone folder so that we can burnish all these score lines. Anytime you're doing a 3D project, it is extra important that you burnish those lines because you really want crisp folds so that your boxes have the shape that you're supposed to, that you intend for them to have. So, and I don't know if I mentioned, but I am using soft succulent here. I used some retired cardstock for the sample that I showed you because if it didn't work out, I didn't want to waste current cardstock, if that makes sense. So this is one of my favorite colors out of the 2021 to 2023 in colors, and it will be retiring at the end of April. So I'm trying to use it as much as I can because it's just so pretty. And the fresh freesia that we will also be using is another one of those in colors that will be retiring. So we've got all of our scoring and burnishing done now. So what I'm going to do is bring in my paper snips, and I am just going to cut on the long sides here. Oh, my children are supposed to be putting themselves to bed because the husband is out tonight, and it doesn't sound like it's going well. Sometimes they get along amazingly, and other times it's like war zone. It's just fascinating. All right, so that's all the cutting. So as you guys are hopefully starting to see, this is actually a really simple project. Just going to bring in some of my multi-purpose liquid glue. This is my favorite for 3D projects because I have wiggle room, but then I also have really secure, sturdy adhesion. Okay, so as you can see, this is the shorter side, so this is the front. This is the longer side, so it's the back. So I am going to bring the back up first and start making this little box. All right, now what I can do is on these tabs, and actually I should have mitered these edges, but I didn't. So I'm just going to trim right here so that it doesn't get in the way. All right, so adhesive on here. And I was saying the multi-purpose is my favorite glue for this kind of thing. However, if you don't like liquid glue because it's messy or, you know, whatever your reasons are, that is totally understandable. And you can, oh, Janie, the cutting part is, I get it, but it is still just paper. So if you do it wrong, you can usually fix it or just grab another piece. Oh, those children. Sorry, it's very distracting. So now that my box is made, I am going to cut from the top back down to the front lower corner here. And this will just make it look a little bit nicer, give that angle. Oh. Okay, so we've got that. And then as I continue to try to tell you, you can also use Seal Plus for 3D projects, or you can use tear and tape, which is the roll of tape with the wax backing. And those are both great as well. So it really does just come down to personal preference and what is more easily accessible sometimes. So getting these mitered, just again, that just makes it go together a little bit more nicely. And then I gotta see which side is, okay, so this is my front, it's the shorter piece. So again, I'm just going to fold in these little center tabs and get some glue on there. And now fold up my back and make the first part of my box. Glue does take a little bit longer to set, so that's why I always kind of like to hold it for just a second and give it a chance to get sturdy. All right, and then we will glue here. So the other cool thing about this project, oh geez, is that you are getting to see me do essentially the same thing twice. So hopefully that helps you get a little more comfortable with this as well. So I know boxes can be, boxes can be tricky. I'm looking at this thinking, I must have changed the dimensions somehow from what I did on my sample. But you know what? We are just going to be fine with that. And maybe it will even be better. So I love how things just, it doesn't matter how many times I measure, I still don't always cut right. All right, so this paper is one of the really pretty patterns from the Dandy Designs Celebration paper. And I love the flowers and the fresh freesia. This backside is really fun too, but it just didn't quite suit what I was doing today. So, and again, if you want all of these measurements written down for you, make sure that you are subscribed to my email list. That is where I provide all of the measurements in a PDF every week. And then I also send out information about any specials, all of my classes, that kind of thing. So I try to make sure that it's really useful and never spammy. And so hopefully I achieve that most of the time. You just never can tell some weeks what's going to happen. All right, so this is going to go right in the middle. And this is the piece that I had cut for it. And I mean, maybe what I did was use the wrong side, or I don't know. But we're going to cut another piece of this because I want it to be right. Okay, so this, and I just used my standard, you know, give it a 1/4 inch different. So we're going to do 3 3/4 by 2 1/4. So bring my trimmer back in. Three 3/4 by 2 1/4. Pretty sure that's what I said. All right. So Janie, as you can see, cutting is just one of those things that everybody struggles with. So we'll go ahead and get this glued on. And then we will glue the 2 boxes together, and then we get to do the fun part, which is the decorating. And again, I mentioned this is the Dandy Designs free paper. It is free with a $100 order because it is actually 48 sheets of different colors and patterns. That is like 4 of our regular packs of designer series paper, so it's an amazing deal. And the colors are bright and beautiful, so I really think it's one that you're going to want to have in your stash. Now, I'm also going to use my Playing in the Rain stamp set. I did not use the dies for this project, but you certainly could if you wanted to make it a little fancier. Just give this a second to set there. Thank you, Janie. So, okay, that is the structure of our box. Now I am going to bring in this piece of basic white, and I'm only using Fresh Freesia ink today. So I've got Oh Happy Day already to go here. And I'll just stamp like that. And then I've got the cute little flowers that I felt like went really well with this paper. So that is kind of how this design came about. So we'll do just like that. Oh, I hate having glue on my fingers. All right. Now I have punched out 2 of our medium daisies, and one is in soft succulent and one is in fresh freesia, so it will coordinate nicely. And now I am just gently curling each petal to give this a little more dimension. You know, on my cards, I really don't like to have a ton of dimension just because it does make mailing complicated. But when I'm doing 3Ds where that's not a concern, I just think it's awesome to have all of the variety in depth. So we are going to layer these and then offset them so that we get that fun little flower. And for gluing these together, I really think it's just easiest to put a little dab of glue in the center there like that. And then put that on like so. Now you could certainly choose to use a glue dot. That would be easy and quick as well. So there's that. And now what I did was take a 1/2 inch contraband punch. So we don't actually carry it anymore, but this is the shimmer is not picking up very well, but this is the Current in Color Glimmer paper. And it's just the very lightest. The paper has an ombre effect to it. So at the very tops of each sheet, it's pretty pale in comparison to the bottoms. And so I felt like the very palest part actually looked very similar to our Fresh Freesia. So I went ahead and did that. All right, and now I am going to just cut at an angle here. There we go. So when I do that, I try to make sure that the angles are like kind of the same, you know, degree or whatever, but that can be really difficult. So when it doesn't work out, that's just fine too. But here it actually really doesn't matter anyway, because we're mostly going to cover that. So a little more glue. And again, all that I used on this was stamps and ink and paper and basically one punch, because you could get away without having that center circle on the daisy. So I'm just making sure that that looks pretty straight. And I brought in some of my, they're new, the opaque adhesive backed gems that are really pretty. If you guys don't pay a ton of attention, you may not realize that the purples are really one of my favorites. So since this is going to be sitting on my desk, I chose to go with purples. And then these gems, if I can figure out how to get into them, are, there's the, let's see, melon mambo, but then there's also gorgeous grape and fresh freesia. And I just love them. They sparkle and they've got texture and they're just super fun. So, all right, that is how that's looking. Oh, and before I go too far down the embellishing road, I've got my Wink of Stella. And just to make these little flowers kind of coordinate with the center here, I'm going to add some Wink of Stella. I love the little bitty bit of shimmer that it adds without taking over. And I think that will do. Right? Emily is constantly telling us these days, pink and purple are my favorite colors with everything that comes up. So the pink and purple are really all about her. Now, what's funny is that orange is not my color. And that little girl managed to get me to paint her bedroom orange last year. And now she's telling me that's not her favorite color. And she was just joking all that time. So that's awesome. I'm going to have orange on my walls for like 15 years. But you know, we do what we do to make these little people happy. So I probably would not have liked pink and purple on the walls any better. I think, nope, I hate that. Let's move that guy. So again, you totally would not have to do these little gems if you didn't want to, but they are fun, and since we have them, I just thought I should use them if I can keep them where I want them. All right, so we'll go like right there. And I like the spatula side of my take your pick tool for scooching embellishments around when I set them in the wrong spot. So there we go, you guys. That is our project for tonight. And even though the dimensions didn't do what I thought they were going to do, I think it's going to work out just fine. Oh, sorry. So you can see that the different sheets of Forever stamps are different sizes, but I'm not sure how old these are. This is what came when I ordered the other day. So nice and easy way to, you must always use gems. Janie, I do kind of agree. It's nice to have them. I hope you like this. I hope that you will go make one of your own for your desk. And while I still have the camera turned down, I'm just going to show you, I had an extra piece of this paper. And so I decided that, you know, we needed to go a little more into that Playing in the Rain bundle. So I colored this cute little turtle, and I did some Wink of Stella on the clouds, but I'm not sure that it shows. So I just thought that since it was similar colors and the same sentiment, that you might like to see that fun little project. And this is a little bit of a preview of what's to come with my February class to go. So that information should be coming out in a week or so, probably. So I will just, I'm glad you like it. bring these back in. Now remember, if you want to get kits to make all 3 of these projects, place your $35 order in my online store using the host code that is in the description of this video. If I have not sold you yet on this gorgeous, so this is also the Dandy Designs paper. So 2 very different looks, different colors, but awesome patterns. I've got a few more owl cards to show you from a class that I did, that I took from another demonstrator. So this one actually doesn't use that Dandy Designs, but the owl is super cute. And then these cute little cards, oh, here we go, are all Dandy Designs paper. So I strongly recommend that you purchase that before it's gone. Let me get the camera switched back over, and all right. Thank you all so much for watching tonight. I really appreciate whether you caught me live or if you are watching the replay. I'm really grateful for you. I would very much appreciate your business if you do place an order in my online store. Use that host code if you want the kits for these 3 projects that we've made this month. And if you would like the dimensions, make sure that you are subscribed to my weekly emails. I am really excited to have gotten to share that with you. I don't do 3Ds very often, so that was really fun. And next week, I will be coming to you with a paper pumpkin project that's an alternate. So that should be fun as well. I hope that you have a lovely weekend. And if there's any questions that you have come up about ordering, or I didn't even mention the join special, but the join special is amazing. If you've ever thought that you might want to get a discount on your crafting supplies, talk to me because I'll help you figure that out. Okay, well, you guys all take care, and I will see you right back here next Thursday, I don't even know what day that is, what is today? So it'd be the 26th of January, and that will be with a paper pumpkin alternate. All right, thanks so much, guys. Make sure that you drop a comment so that I know you were here, and I will talk to you later. Bye.